I loved this interaction. This is YouTuber Nick Matau speaking to a young Muslim woman. I believe this is his third conversation with her. Here in their first interaction, it's more heated. To be fair, she is from Iraq, and the US and the UK did mess that country up really badly. But you will note she actually cites women's rights as a reason for not going back.
I don't like a lot of white people. They're annoying.
I bet you don't, You just come to all our fucking countries every time because your fucking countries are shitholes.
What do you mean? What? So you're calling me a terrorist?
I have no idea if you're a terrorist or not. I don't remember I don't remember using that word. You said that word. I didn't say that word. It's just funny how much you guys hate us.
She doesn't
you
like
hate
white
Western
people, but
countries.
they come to white countries.
You hate white people, but you come to white and Western countries. Isn't that really crazy?
Because we were forced into this country.
Who forced you to come to America?
Saddam Hussein
Wasn't Americans.
Saddam Hussein told you to go to America. Yeah, okay.
So
no, you guys
America's
come here
fault.
because America is a significantly better country than your shithole countries that Islam ruined.
No, it's not.
So
it's
you
not
come
better than
here
my country.
where we have better healthcare, we have cleaner water, we have cleaner stuff, we have better economy, we have
go
better
back to
military. Fine, let me ask you, why don't you go back to Iraq now? Saddam Hussein's dead. Why don't you go back? You won't, because you fucking know it's better here. You know damn well you're not going to leave.
Because I'm a woman.
Oh, please expand on that. Tell me, what's wrong with you being a woman?
Women don't have rights. They don't have.
Oh,
freedom.
that's crazy. So you stay in the country where women have rights, and you won't go to the Oh, wow. Huh. I wonder if there's a correlation there. I wonder if there's a correlation there. Please tell me, why do women not have rights? Go ahead, tell me, why is it in Iraq that women don't have rights? Please tell us why women don't have rights in Iraq. Go ahead.
Because they have to. They are expected to stay at home and be housewives. They can't.
Because
leave
of
their
what? What is that ideology that exists in Iraq that tells them to
religion.
do that? What religion?
It's a religion.
What religion is it?
Islam.
It's Islam. That's crazy. So the Muslims, who she doesn't like a lot of white people, as she said, they don't like the West. They think their religion is perfect. As she said, I don't go back to that because my religion hates on me. So I stay in the West, the place I hate, the white people I hate, because I'm not treated like they treat me in my country.
It's not my fault they do that.
No, you know what? That's true. It's not. It's Muhammad's fault and your religion's fault.
It's not Muhammad's fault. Peace be upon him.
Muhammad specifically said evil comes in three things. Three things, he said. Women was one of those three things. He said hell was filled with women because they're disobedient. He said that women were half as intelligent because they had a deficient mind. He also said that women were half as religious because they have their period and they cannot do certain religious things during that week. And so therefore they're not as religious as men. It takes two women to equal one man as a witness in Sharia law. All of this is absolutely said by Muhammad, who married a 6-year-old.
By the second and third interaction, he's having a much more fruitful conversation with her, and she's silently processing, and you can see a distinct shift in her language and thoughts throughout. And she obviously found him intriguing enough to keep returning.
So you don't believe anyone's illegal on any land?
Nobody's illegal.
Every land has been stolen and given back and stolen.
Not true. Iraq was not stolen. Iraq is the first and oldest country in the world. It was civilized, but it's not stolen.
Well, actually, there's a lot of people in Iraq today that don't link back to the indigenous people, but some do. So do you think those people have stolen it a little bit?
No, they were there first. I respect
some people do, but there's a lot of people that are in Iraq that aren't indigenous to Iraq.
I'm not. I'm an Arab, so I'm not indigenous to it, but like they're indigenous.
That's my point. So do you think it's kind of stolen because there's a lot of Arabs and others in Iraq?
It's just civilized.
Okay, well, I would say America is also civilized. I agree with you. America,
it is civilized, but not for the right reason.
So you think Iraq is civilized for the right reason?
Their land because they didn't know what to do, and they the whites bought it. The whites bought it from them.
What's wrong with that? The whites did what anyone else did. I don't understand why. I don't know what your thing is about white people. They didn't have to do that though. This is originally their land. It's not the whites' land. Okay, so they were slaughtering each other for the land too. I'm indigenous American. I am about 15% Apache. We were slaughtering each other as well. We were enslaving each other just because the whites came in and did also, I guess, kind of the same thing. Some of them did more diplomacy, but some of them, you're right, did do some really fucked up things. Why is that more worse? Just because their skin color is lighter, is what you're saying?
No, I don't think people should be getting killed over land or
Sure, but
enslaved
you have a
women.
thing about whites specifically. What is it about whites that you have different? Everyone else was doing the same thing throughout all of the world. Arabs slaughtered countless people, raped,
Okay,
pillaged.
well, that's the bad Arabs. There's bad in every race, but like
That's my point. So
those-
what's your point about
I know.
whites?
Let me finish. Let me
Okay.
finish. Okay, I know last time I said that I like don't like a lot of white people. I'm not saying I hate every white person. I'm just saying like I don't like the stereotypical white person, like a Trumpy, or like you're illegal, get out of here. What are you doing on this land? I hate people like that.
I feel like the reason you're a Democrat, because it almost sounds like you actually should be conservative. You're religious. You're hijabi. You also you want less
Politics
taxes.
and religion do not go hand in hand.
Well, hold on, but you have conservative. You should have conservative values. You're a hijabi.
Like-
You are what was I saying? You want less taxes. You don't trust the government. It's almost like you should be conservative, but you think you should be a liberal, probably because you're young. I'm assuming you're what, like 19, 20?
19.
Okay. So what you believe, there's an old saying that says if you're under 21 and you're not a Democrat, you have no heart. But if you're over 45 and you're not a Republican, you have no brain. Okay.
That's not true. That's not true. No.
Yeah, well, you're kind of proving it. So what's happening is you want all the conservative values, lower taxes, less government, but you want stuff like universal health care, which literally needs significantly more
No,
taxes.
we don't need less government. We need more government action, but for
Oh, you do
valid
want more
reasons.
government.
More government action, but they need to be trustworthy. They need to be good, good workers. You know what I mean?
When you remember when the Palestinians went in and started slaughtering people at the music festival and raping them and burning them,
That did not happen, bro.
the UN did an independent report of a special rapporteur literally admitted that it happened. This was an independent report. They found 3 different major areas where mass rape happened and necrophilia. How do you not know this? These reports
Bro,
came
I don't know
out
where
years
you get
ago.
that statistic from.
The
I
United
don't know where-
Nations. The United Nations.
I don't pay attention to the UN.
You don't pay attention to the UN, but you think it's a genocide?
Of course, it's a genocide.
You understand the Genocide Convention was from the UN, right?
Yes.
So you only pay attention to the
I feel like
UN
every
kind
country
of.
has genocided someone.
Okay, so you only
It's not
kind of
good, but-
you only pay attention to the UN when it fits you, is what you're saying.
No, I only pay attention if it's like, I don't know, like if it just like pops up on media or if someone tells me.
So you don't think massive killings happened on October 7th?
Of course, massive, horrible killings happened.
Burnings,
Yeah,
beheadings,
yeah. Churches
but
bombed.
not the rape.
Mosques bombed.
No. I'm talking about the
rape,
October
yeah.
7th attacks.
Yeah, everything horrible happened that
So
day.
why is it
Not a
that you're
good deal.
telling? Why did you just say that didn't happen then? If you do agree it all happened, I'm confused.
Well, if the UN said it, it probably happened. I didn't hear about it.
Okay, well that's what the Palestinians did that day.
Well, that's not good.
Well, just so you know, there's more people in Gaza today than there was in October 7th.
Well, yeah, because guess what? Guess who's doing that? Guess who's killing them?
No, there's more
Israel.
people. No, there's more people today. The Israel's death rate is so
Because
low.
they keep reproducing people.
Right.
There's new people every day.
Can you tell me of a genocide, right, that has ever happened in all of history, whether you're talking about Holocaust, Rwanda genocide, Armenian genocide, whatever, any genocide in history where the population goes up during the quote unquote genocide? Can you just tell me one genocide ever in history where the population went up?
I don't know.
The answer is no.
The
On
population
average,
goes up every day. The human population increases and
not
decreases
during
every
a
day.
genocide, though. A genocide's death rate is so high that you cannot reproduce fast
Well, that's because
enough.
they keep reproducing. They're married and they do that.
Right. That's my point, is that it wouldn't be a genocide then. Also, in times
It
of
is
high...
a genocide. They're killing innocent civilians.
That's not what genocide means. If that's what genocide meant, then every war in history would be a genocide.
No.
Iraq just lowered the age last year of marriage for women to 9 years old. Can you tell me why
Do you
they
think they
picked...
support the government in Iraq? And of course not.
I'm asking you, why do you think they picked that age?
I don't know. That's
You
a
don't think it
stupid
has
age-
anything to do with Islam at all?
That has nothing to do with Islam. That just has to do with government.
So the fact that he consummated the marriage with Aisha at 9, you think that's a big coincidence?
Okay, well, it's not. Well, it's just like because she was 9 years old, she was past the age of maturity because she already hit puberty. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he believed that.
You believe that? You believe she was
believed that
mature?
if you're past the age of maturity, you've already hit puberty, then you can get married. But
Do you think you were mature at 9? Do you think you were mature at 9 years old?
No, but do you think every 9-year-old is mature? Every 9-year-old is
No 9-year-old is mature. Never,
okay.
ever,
Well,
ever.
do you think I support 9-year-olds getting married? Of course not. That's why I
The
don't
Prophet
support the
Muhammad
Iraqi
married
war
a
and Muslims.
6-year-old and then had sex
It
with
was
her at
not
9.
in her. That's not true because
It is. It's
in the
Sahih
Quran it doesn't
al-Bukhari
even mention
5133.
her age.
Well,
In the
first off,
Quran, it doesn't even mention her age.
it doesn't really mention her much at all, but in Sahih al-Bukhari 5133, it's narrated by Aisha herself. She said, I was 6 years old when the yeah, go ahead, look it up.
Wait, can you say the verse again? Or the
It's
surah?
hadith. Yeah, it's a hadith. It's Sahih al-Bukhari 5133.
Wait, hold on. Sahih al-Bukhari.
Yeah.
Okay, 5133.
5133.
Okay.
Go ahead and read it out loud for the class.
Okay. That the Prophet alayhi wasallam married her when she was 6 years old, and he
Consummated.
Yeah. Consummated. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, consummated
His
means
marriage-
sex.
Oh. Okay, consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old, and then she remained with him for 9 years. An example
Until his
to
death. Yep.
Okay, well, obviously, I do not support children losing their virginities at such young ages, but like, I believe that times are different. I mean, he was alive during the year like 600 or something like that. So like, obviously, it's different because back then, during the Adam and Eve's ages, they had to incest to reproduce. Obviously, that's not normal, but they had to do that. So
is he the most perfect man to ever exist, or and
do you
ever
think
will
people
exist?
in 2026 are going to live like how it was back then in the year 600?
No,
Obviously
I don't.
not.
But the problem is that and according to Islam, he's the most perfect man to ever exist and ever will exist. So why are you comparing him to people of the 600s? I guess that's when he lived.
Okay, we're just believing that his ideologies are perfect. And everyone
like marrying a 6-year-old?
Okay, I don't believe
he was
that's
51, by the way.
That's an action. That's an action. He chose to do that.
The Quran allows you to marry prepubescent girls.
But not everyone does that, though.
But the Quran allows it. Well, no, you can't do it because it's only meant to women. Women aren't allowed to because you don't have as many rights. You don't have as many rights because you're a woman. In Islam, you don't.
No, it has nothing to do with Islam. It's just culture. Surah and what?
Surah, yeah, it's 434. Yeah, I do.
No way, you're the Quran.
I do. I read it twice.
Surah and what?
Surah 4. I actually, I like this girl. I feel bad for you, but I think you're actually really nice. 434.
Why do you feel bad for me?
I think you're a good person, and you don't know that Islam doesn't have the values.
I'm just not 100% educated about it. I should educate myself. I want to finish the Quran one day. I'm just not 100% educated.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways,
I'm supposed to say it the way you said it last time. Inshallah. Surah 4.
She comes across as very empty-headed and sheep-like, but you can sense there's an overall goodness and open-mindedness that shows a receptiveness to change. So as the conversation progresses, I can see her silently processing Nick's radically different perspective. She occasionally puts up a defence to this as best as she can, but acknowledges Nick's much larger base of knowledge and understanding. There's enough open-minded listening there that I sensed there was definitely sunlight breaking through. Let's see if you agree.
Are you still Muslim?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How's that crazy? It's a good religion.
Okay.
I agree with everything in Islam. There's no
everything
values I have against. Yeah.
You think women are dumber than men?
It doesn't say that, does it?
Yeah, Muhammad. I told you this the first time we spoke. It says Muhammad said that women were half as intelligent as men.
Well, some are, yeah.
Nope, he said all.
All?
Yep.
And
he also said that hellfire was filled with women. He also said that women were not as religious as men. He said they're disobedient. What else?
Some are,
he called black people raisin faces.
Raisin faces?
Yep.
Let's never saw that.
These are the hadith in the Quran. If you want to go with that, he said to not take Jews or Christians as allies, for if you do, you're one of them. You might agree with that one, actually. I don't know.
Well, it's because during war, you cannot be allies with a Christian or a Jew because they're the ones killing you. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
So what if you're at war with someone that's not a Christian or a Jew?
Well, then you still have to go against them because I mean, if they're
So then
bombing your country, what are you
why
gonna
didn't
do?
he just say that then? Why didn't he just say don't be allies with the people killing you? Why did he say Jews and Christians?
Well, because he said during war. You
Well,
missed
first
that
off,
part.
it doesn't say that in the Quran actually.
Well, that's what he meant.
Oh, you know that? You talked to him?
Well, I've never met him, obviously, because he died a long time ago, but that's what he meant.
Okay, so if you're at war with the Hindus and it's up in the air.
No, if same goes with Hindus. I mean, if Hindus are at war with Muslims, we
So
cannot
why didn't
side
he
with the
just
Hindus.
say don't be an ally to your enemies? Which why would he even have to say that? Isn't that kind of implied? Hey, don't be allies with the people killing you. No shit. Like why would he even have to say that?
Well, yeah, I mean, there is common sense in the Quran.
It's not so common if you have to spell it out. How about where it says the idah of a woman for a prepubescent girl, right, is 3 months, meaning when she gets divorced, she has to wait 3 months before she gets married again. So that means that you're allowed to marry prepubescent girls. Do you agree with that?
Pre-pubescent, meaning like they haven't hit puberty. Well, I
Right.
mean, that's too young to get married, but it says that in the Quran. I can't change that.
Do you agree with it though? You said you agree with everything in the Quran.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want someone marrying a little girl who's before puberty.
If you were
That's like crazy.
disobedient to your husband and then he abandoned you in the bed and you continue to be disobedient and then he smacked you, right? Would that be okay?
No,
Okay, well that says that in Surah 4, ayat 34.
I did not know that. You know
Yeah.
more than me. It's because you've read the whole Quran. I haven't,
Was
unfortunately.
that? Let's see. It says to strike the necks of the unbeliever, or it says I will cast terror into the heart of my enemies, so strike their every neck and every finger until they submit and
That's
pay the
because he was at
jizya.
war.
Sorry, I'm kind of in class right now. So
Here, huh? Here, I'm gonna hear. It's because the only reason here, I'm gonna go in this area. Here, like the only like way you should cast terror is because it's only if you're at war. So that's why he would do it. It's because he was at
How do you
war.
define war in Islam though?
Like war, like Israel v Iran.
Yeah, that is
That
war, but in Islam, there's also other ways that they define it as war. They also have spiritual warfare and also religious warfare, jihad, right? Not the internal jihad, but the external one. And so technically, you guys are at war right now. You're technically, in a way,
yeah.
it's such a loose definition that you're always at war. So therefore, you should always cast terror into the heart of your enemies.
Well, no, we are the religion of peace. It's just Iran, their military is just like crazy.
You know, people that have to say they're the religion of peace probably aren't the religion of peace because you wouldn't have to say that, right? You think you're more peaceful than the teachings of Jesus Christ?
I don't want to compare religion, but like it's just we're supposed to be the religion of peace. It's just some people like to break that.
Some
Like
people
Iran
like
right now.
pretty much the entire like Ummah.
No, I've been at peace. I've never bombed anyone, never
Yeah,
killed
but you don't
anyone.
you admit that you don't really know much about it.
Well, it's just everyone's a sinner. I mean, Iran, they're not being peaceful right now with Israel.
How come the ones that know most about Islam and are most pious, right, most religious, like Hamas, Iran, Boko Haram, Taliban, how come those are also the ones that are the most extreme, as you put it? Why is it? Do you think that's coincidental that the ones that know way more than you would about the Quran and Hadith and Islam and Sunnah, why is it that they're the ones that also commit the acts of terror?
I think it's just because they take the Quran very literally.
Shouldn't you?
Well, mm, like I don't know. There are people who take the Bible very literally. I feel like you shouldn't be doing that because
Yeah, but
there's
the Bible
some
doesn't
parts in that where
command people to do things today. There are some verses, especially in the Old Testament, of stories that happen that were, yeah, in today's day and age, you would say that's it's pretty extreme for sure, but
violent.
it's not yeah, violent, exactly. But it's not a commandment. It's saying, hey, this happened at this time. It's very clear.
Well, yeah, same with our book.
No, no,
Yeah,
yours is a commandment. It may be based off of something that happened during Muhammad's time, but it's not like, hey, and this happened in this year. It was this is what you should do. So it would carry on to Muslims today.
well, yeah, but just because the prophet would cast terror into the heart of his enemies in the war doesn't mean like we all should. Like no one's gonna live just like how he lived.
But he didn't say
We
I
all
do this. He's saying to the Muslims as a commandment. And it's not even him saying it. Technically, it's from Allah through Jibril to Muhammad.
well, it's just because of war. Only you can only be violent during war. If you're getting terrorized, you should terrorize back.
Have you ever heard of Dar al Islam versus Dar al Harb?
No.
So in Sunnah, it talks about Dar al-Islam, which is the house of Islam. That would be countries that are Islamic theocracies effectively controlled by Islam. And everything else is Dar al-Harb, which is house of war. So if they're calling things like Israel or just non-Islamic societies, if they call it house of war, wouldn't that mean that you should do what the Quran says when you're at war? Because it's called the house of war. So shouldn't you cast terror into the hearts of the
Yeah.
unbelievers?
Well, if you're at war, yeah.
They call it house of war.
Yeah. He's not saying cast terror into the hearts of your like enemies
That's exactly what he says.
forever, like always. He's just saying only during war.
But they call it the house of war. And the only way it can become the house of Islam is if it becomes Islamic society.
Well, yeah, house of war because it's happening during war.
Right. So if it's the house of war, that means they're justified to cast terror and strike the necks of those people in the areas they call house of war.
Yeah, because it's war.
Which is everyone that's not an Islamic country. Or everywhere, excuse me.
And again. The fuck?
I know.
Yeah, it's during war. Yeah, during war you're allowed to be a terrorist because they're terrorizing you.
Really?
You have to fight back. You have to fight back. If someone's
So in the
killing,
Battle of Tours, where the Mohammedites tried to take out France, effectively, is where the Battle of Tours was. Can you tell me what were they doing that was terrorizing Muslims? Or how about when they invaded Spain? What did Spain do that terrorized Muslims that allowed them to take over Spain, Al-Andalus?
Was this when Syria was also like having conflict?
One, Spain is
Who
nowhere
was-
near
it was-
Syria, and two,
Yeah, I know, but they colonized each other. But they had conflict at one point. But wait, so what were you saying? Was it
Just-
France and Spain?
yeah, this was way back during the early Muslims. This is not anything in recent times.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I know you don't know.
I mean, I can't control what the Muslim Ummah does. I mean, if they want to do something bad, that's a them problem. I think we should just be at peace. Forget war. We shouldn't be bombing anybody.
So you agree we should probably, if Islam were to go away, we would be a much more peaceful country. Or sorry, world.
No.
There's been 72,000 Islamist terrorist attacks since 2001 alone. If you compare that to Christianity or Judaism, it's negligible for them.
There's terrorists in every religion, like not just Muslims.
Not
Every religion.
72,000 in 25 years.
Well, that's a specific number. There's still the Christian terrorists, Jewish terrorists. A lot of Jews are terrorists, actually.
There's first off, that's not even close to true. A lot of Jews are not terrorists. But that being said, it's not anywhere near the same number. Yes, there are, correct, you're right. There are Jewish terrorists, Christian terrorists, and national terrorists, and atheists. That's true. But it's nowhere near. It's not even close to the same number. If you look at the Global Terrorist Index, which Moderate told you about this in the video, I saw it. If you look at the Global Terrorist Index, the top 10, all 10 are Islamic organizations, groups, whatever. All of them.
Well, they're not supposed to be terrorists, but they're sinning.
Do you like going viral?
I don't want to get viral again, but I probably will.
I just, what is your game here? You admit to a lot of things being like, yeah, that's wrong. I didn't know that. Well, what is it that you need to hear before you realize that maybe you're just not on the right side? People have been dying in Israel, including elderly, children, civilians, and that is due to, from Lebanon, I mean, because of Hezbollah. You cannot say Israel just continue to die and do nothing about it. They're going to do something about it. Guess what? Israel is going to be way harsher every single time. You know why? Because you guys have 52 Muslim states. They have one Jewish state. They don't have the ability to be, oh, we'll be just as nice. No, they don't have that, because if they die, they're done. That's it. There's no more Jewish state, and you've wiped out half of the Jews around the world, just like that. They don't have the ability. You guys can have your shithole countries and kill each other all you want, and you still have 2 billion Muslims. You have 51 other countries if you take out a country. Israel has one. Their Jews have one state. So if you don't like how they respond, then start fixing your own religion. Start fixing your own people. Stop telling the world, we're the religion of peace. We don't like terrorism. But all around the world, you guys support terrorism. It's so weird how every Muslim country in the world has a terrorist organization that they somehow can't get rid of. The sneaky terrorists, we just can't get rid of them.
We don't support terrorism. It's happening, and we're supposed to be the religion of peace, but not everyone is peaceful.
Okay, so let Israel take care of it for you then. Again, you can't have it both ways. You can't say,
How
hey,
are
it's
they gonna
happening.
take care of us? By bombing Palestine?
Yeah, Yeah, if that's what it takes, then yes,
That's not good.
absolutely.
They shouldn't be doing that.
Then fix your religion. Not you
It doesn't need to be
personally,
fixed.
Muslims as all. Well, okay. Do you think non-Muslims agree with you? Isn't it weird? Muslims, do you agree
Obviously not.
Muslims?
Your fans are Zionists. They're not
No,
gonna
no, no,
agree
no.
with
I'm
me.
not talking about my fans. Do you agree Muslims have a significant problem with Hindus and they're at war with them?
We don't have a war. We don't have a problem with the Hindus. Some do, but I don't. I don't care.
I'm not
I don't
saying
really hate
you.
them.
I'm saying just significant enough to talk about. Do you agree that Muslims have issues with Hindus?
I don't know.
Yes. Just look at Kashmir if you don't believe me, okay? How about Jews? Yes. How about Christians? Yes. How about Buddhists? Yes. How about other Muslims? Yes. How about atheists, unbelievers? Yes. If you're the common denominator, and everyone has a problem with you and you have a problem with everyone, just maybe you're the problem. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's
But
a
I'm not the one
coincidence.
hating. I'm not the one hating Hindus, Christians, Muslims,
I'm not
or
talking
Jews
about
or
you.
anything.
I'm not
I
talking
know
about
you're just talking
you.
about the Ummah. I know you're talking about the Ummah.
You
But
shouldn't be a Muslim because unless you're lying to me this whole time. But if you are telling
no,
the
I'm not
truth,
lying.
if you are telling the truth, you would be better off leaving the religion. If you really want to
I
stick
don't
to
want to leave
your
the religion.
personal values, this religion is not going to mimic your values.
I believe that I shouldn't leave the religion, and I believe that everyone should know to love each other despite their religion, despite their
Doesn't say
ethnic
that in the
background.
Quran. Doesn't say that in the Quran. Specifically says that unbelievers are going to have their skin burned off for all of eternity and regrow and then burned off again. Specifically says to not take allies of unbelievers like the Jews and Christians. It specifically says that you should
Well,
force these
during
people.
war, yeah.
Nope. It even
You're
says
taking it
to.
out of context.
Of course. That's
Why are
why
you so
Muslims have
pissed
been
off?
doing it. That's why Muslims have been doing it since the very, very beginning. They all got it wrong. Muhammad got it wrong. After Muhammad, Abu Bakr got it wrong. Umar got it wrong. Ali got it wrong. The Muslims today got it wrong. The Ottomans got it wrong. The IRGC got it wrong. Saudi Arabia gets it. They're all just, trust me, Islam is perfect, but people just keep getting it wrong. You really want me to believe that?
That's right. Well, you're not gonna believe it because you don't like my religion. But I mean, it's
I've
just
read your
certain.
religion.
I know you have, but there just needs these Muslims. They just need they need to be taught to love other people.
But it doesn't say to do that in the Quran. It doesn't say to do that. It says that if they're different, like the people of the book, they have to pay a jizya simply because they're not Muslim. And then, by the way, that's the nice thing. If they're just unbelievers straight up and not people of the book, they were slaughtered, right? Or ethnically cleansed. That's the nice version of Islam, was the people of the book. Like, it doesn't, what you're saying, it doesn't say that in the Quran. You think that, and I'm glad you do. That's awesome. But your book doesn't think that. The word of Allah.
Not everyone follows the Quran 100%. We're all sinners.
But you should. But I also didn't say I have a problem with Muslims. I don't have a problem with you. You're a Muslim. I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with Islam. So you can't say, well, I don't follow my book 100%. I don't have a problem with you. I think you, again, as long as you're not lying to me, you sound like a fine person. I'm talking about Islam. What's in the words, the book.
Well, do you believe that the Quran should be changed? I'm not saying it should.
I think it should be thrown out. I think there should be a reset button. All the good things that are in the Quran.
I'm not inbred, guys. I'm not inbred.
All the good things in the Quran. All the good things in the Quran were stolen from Judaism and Christianity. There's nothing good in the Quran that you can't find in Judaism and Christianity. So
it's because they have similarities. They don't steal it. It's just
no, they stole it. It came later. They stole it. Yeah, they stole it.
Christianity's older than Islam. And Judaism.
That's the point.
Yeah,
correct. Judaism is older than Christianity, and Christianity and Judaism are older than Islam. That's the point. Islam stole it. They took the ideas and put it in their book because it came after.
It's because we also believe in it, yeah. But we don't believe in like everything, obviously. We don't believe in everything that they stand for, obviously. Just some things.
Remember when God revealed to the angels, I am with you, so grant the believers resolve. I shall cast terror into the hearts of the unbelievers. So strike above the necks and strike their every finger, for they defied God and his messenger. And whoso defies God and his messenger, God is severe in retribution. Here it is, so taste it. For the unbelievers, the torment of the fire. I read that word for word.
It's because during war.
Where does it say that? Where does it say that? Where?
It probably will say that later on, or probably said it earlier.
Well, if
Before
it says it
that,
later
across
on,
the
then it
board.
would be in the context of that chapter, but okay.
You're just taking it out of context. That's just
I'm sure
only
I
during
am.
war.
How do you know if I'm taking
Violence
out of
only during.
How do you know I'm taking out of context? You agree that you never even read this. So how do you know I'm taking out of context? How do you know
Because I've
that?
talked to people about it. I've talked to people about it because after our talk, it really made me think. And so I would talk to other people about Islam, and they would tell me like
Let me
only
guess. Other
violence during war.
Muslims?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
sure.
talk
I'm
to
sure they
like
told you the truth. I'm sure it was 100%. Here we go. Listen to this one. This is 929. The Jews say Ezra is the son of God, which isn't true, while the Christians say Christ is the son of God. This is what they say from their very mouths, thereby agreeing with the speech of the unbelievers who came before them. May God strike them down and how they pervert the truth.
during war. Yeah.
No, it says may God strike them down
For what?
for believing not Islam,
For
essentially. 'Cause it just
non-believing.
says,
Not believing.
essentially, because it says they take the words, the speech of the unbeliever. So effectively, not believing in what Islam believes, essentially.
Well, yeah, it does say you can kill a non-believer, but I don't think I should be doing that or anyone else should. But that's what it says in the Quran. We have to
Isn't it
respect
weird
it.
that it says that God should strike down Christians for believing in Christ? But isn't that kind of weird? Because the only reason they believe in Christ is because God, Allah, according to Islam, altered the face of somebody else to be crucified in the place of Christ. So he tricked all the people in believing that Christ was crucified, and now he's going to come down and punish them for believing his trick. Isn't that kind of fucked up? Like, could you imagine if you were tricked and then you were punished for eternity for it?
Well, that'd be pretty crazy, but I can't control what happened a long time ago. Also, why does your chat hate me, guys? I'm not evil, and I'm not inbred. I don't know why y'all keep saying that.
I don't read my
I
chat.
don't know why they think that.
A lot of Muslims are inbred.
I'm not inbred. I think that's weird and gross.
If you look at like the top 10 countries that do first cousin or worse marriage, almost all of them are Muslim. Pakistan's number one. In fact, in Pakistan, there is more cousin marriages than there are normal marriages. Like it's 60
That's
to 70%
weird.
are cousin marriages. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Did you know
and
your
gross.
prophet married his daughter-in-law?
What?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. Look at Zaid,
That's crazy.
his adopted son. He said Allah wants you to divorce her, so he forced his son to divorce her, and then he took her as his wife.
Well, that's crazy.
And then when people called him out for it, they're like, hey, isn't this kind of like marrying your daughter? He then made a rule. He said, oh, adoption doesn't count. So he's not really my son. That's why, by the way, if you didn't know, Muslims don't really adopt today because still to
They
this day,
can.
I'm not saying it literally never happens, but it's very, very rare. And so the reason is because Muhammad, he said, and it's still to this day in Islam, that adoption doesn't really count. And then you can go look up this hadith. There was a time where he goes to a guy named Salim, who was an adopted son of a woman. The day that Muhammad said adoption doesn't count, she had to start covering herself because no, you don't have to cover your hair to your son. But now that Muhammad said he's not really your son, she started covering herself because of the law, right? And so she went to Muhammad and said, hey, what am I supposed to do? Do I have to cover myself forever in front of my son, but you say he's not my son because he's adopted? Do you know what Muhammad told her? He said, have him suckle your breast a few times, like breastfeeding, and then he'll be your son again. And she said, but he's a grown man, he's an adult. And he said, just do it and he'll be your son again. So he told a whole group of adopted sons to suckle the breasts of their adopted mother, or their mother, effectively.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's your prophet.
And they're old too. Like you're only supposed to breastfeed a baby, not like someone mature.
Yeah, that's something your prophet said. It's in Sahih Muslim, I believe.
Well, I mean, that's crazy. But also, I don't think that people should be marrying cousins. But you do know that like anyone could do that. Like in Alabama, they do that.
Yeah, but we don't call
They
them
marry
prophets.
siblings.
we don't call them
Well,
prophets. That's
I
the
know.
difference. You're right.
I know, but that's weird. I don't think anyone should be incesting. That's gross. I hate that that's normal. Shouldn't be normal. Nick, she's
Well.
not listening to. She's reading the comments. Skip.
Sammy says, imagine talking to inbred people your entire life and having it as your normal reference, and then you talk to Nick and can't understand anything.
Oh my gosh, I'm not inbred. It's just, it's not that I don't understand everything. It's just I need to educate myself more because I haven't read the Quran fully. I've read parts of it. I need to finish the whole thing.
LaSalle, in 2 years, this girl won't be Islamic and love Jewish people in Israel. Mark my words. Come to the light side.
No, I'll always be Muslim.
My Arab sister.
I'll always be Muslim.
Brendane, she's cute, but tell her you're married. She knows I'm married.
I know he's married, and I respect that. I don't want to do anything with him. He can keep his wife.
Oh, thank you for your permission.
Please tell her I am glad USA spend millions to save her and her family from Islam. Glad she is in a Christian country and now have freedom. She should not use that privilege to support terror in the world. I don't support terror, okay? And I don't want to become a Christian. I like the religion, but I don't want to be Christian. I don't believe in it.
What's wrong with Christianity?
But thanks for sending a 9.99. What?
What's wrong with Christianity?
Nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't believe in the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
You can be a non-Trinitarian Christian.
Isn't that like where you believe in the Holy Trinity?
No, that's Trinitarian Christians, which is most Christians, but there are technically Christianity denominations that are non-Trinitarian. They do not believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They do, of course, still believe in Jesus. Or no, maybe they believe... I don't know much about non-Trinitarian. Maybe they still believe he's the Son, but not, like, he's not divine. Maybe that's it. They're not very common, so I don't really know so much of their beliefs. I just know there are non-Trinitarian Christians.
I don't know. I don't want to believe in that.
Yeah, you just rather believe in pedophilia and women beating and anti-Jew Christian and
no, I'm not anti-Jew at all.
You're not anti-Jew at all?
No, I don't hate the Jews.
So why wouldn't you visit Israel ever? You don't have to support the government to visit the Jewish people in Israel.
Well, because I don't think they'd even let me in. I mean, I have Iraqi citizenship.
You can use your American passport and you can get in.
Well, I look Iraqi, don't I? I don't think they're going to let me in.
You look pretty white. You understand, like, you cannot walk throughout Israel and not see a hijabi. Like, do you think, like, they just like, persecute... Yeah, but...
I know there's Palestinian hijabis.
They're all over, especially in Jerusalem. You won't walk 5 steps without seeing one. Like, you act like they fucking hate Muslims and they're just, like, persecuting them all over. They're everywhere. They own shops. They're doctors. They're judges. They're the same people. They're the same. Tell me a country, an Islamic country, that treats the Jews as well as the Jews treat the Arabs in Israel.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think there is any.
She's a great example of how ignorant and sheep-like Muslims are due to their upbringing. When you are born into a Muslim family, you are told nothing except ritual and prayer and reciting a book you don't understand. And then you grow up defending it when you know very little about it. I was never told anything substantial about Islam growing up. I learnt everything independently. Now, I spotted something like this once on my channel before with this gentleman at Speaker's Corner, and I was right. And I'm sensing the same with this person. I love the hopefulness of interactions like this. It really shows you the power of conversation and why the internet is destroying Islam. It's built on ignorance, echo chambers, and lies. Islam is not about loving all humans or world peace, so when you show this to an open-minded, receptive Muslim, their world can shift onto a completely different axis.